What is up, guys? My name is Skorge and you're watching Anyone Can Trap, the YouTube and Patreon series designed for absolute beginners and above in FL Studio who want to learn how to make electronic music. The goal of this series is for you to complete an entire trap song from start to finish while learning FL Studio along the way. And remember, if you want access to all of the presets and samples I use in this or any future tutorial, as well as early access to every single episode, all you gotta do is head over to my Patreon right here or click the link in the description, and for only $2 a month, you can get all of these items and much, much more. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the next episode. Welcome back, producers. In this episode, we're going to finish up our intro and then make our build-up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy everything here with Control-C, and then I'm going to use Control-B to paste it after the last thing in our playlist, which is what we copied. And that was actually a tip given by a commenter in one of the last videos. I'm sorry, I can't remember the channel name right now, but I'll put it up. So thank you for that little tip. I actually never came across that. Okay, so we're going to change up pattern 4 here. We're going to make it unique to pattern 5. We're going to add a new drum pattern. So I'm first going to change the bass and have it go along with the chords we made in the previous episode. So I believe that was F, and then D, and then C sharp, and then B. Okay, and then I also want to kick at every bass change. That's not absolutely necessary, but I think it sounds a little messy if you don't. And then this is where you get to be a little bit creative. You can fill in different kicks anywhere you want and just see how it comes out, how it sounds. And it won't always sound perfect, but there's a lot of things you might not have thought would sound good. So I'm just going to play this. Let's see how this sounds. So I like that, but I'm going to add one more kick, I think, right here. Let's try that. Okay, that's not bad. I like that. So I'm going to have that repeat as well. So let's listen back 2 bars before that and see how it sounds. Nice. So right after this, we can make our build-up. Also, I have noticed that in my recordings, the screen capture that I use doesn't pick up the bass very well at all. I'm hoping I can fix that, but if it still doesn't sound very good, I promise if you just follow all the steps, it'll sound good. It sounds good in my headphones, so but there's no way to prove that to you. So now we're going to start our build-up, and I'm just going to start our build-up with an open pattern. Sorry, some of these I use to practice before these videos. But I'm just going to start with a basic kick. Every bar. And that's going to go on for 4 bars. And then at the 5th bar, I'm going to go into a 4-beat kick. So fill every 4 steps. And then we're going to duplicate that again, duplicate it again, but then we're going to make this last one unique. And then we're going to add in these in between, which of course you could also fill each 2 steps. And then on this last 2 beats, I want them to be even quicker. So what we're doing is we're building up tension with our kicks. We're starting off slow and then we're building up to the drop. And then I'm going to come back into the first one. We're going to add some snares. I'm going to fill these every 4 steps first. Now you don't have to make your build up exactly like this. You can make it any way you really want. This is just what I think sounds best for what we're making. Now I'm going to come into the 5th bar in our build up here, and I'm going to fill each 2 steps in the snare, and then come into here. Oops, sorry. My last bar here, and I'm going to fill all of these in. Cool. So let's listen back and see what that sounds like. Cool. Sorry, that bell is from the beginning of the song. It's wrapping itself around. But yeah, that's a really good build-up. I like that. So we're just going to fill in the first bell lead here. We're going to have that go once, and then it's going to start repeating after the 4th bar. and it's going to hit in along every 2 beats. And then after these 2 bars here, I'm going to have it repeat every beat. So again, this is just trying to build the tension in our song. I'm going to add the arpeggios, put those under just to give it some ambience. Add the chords, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did to the bell lead with the chords. So I'm going to have these repeat now every 2 bars, and then once we hit that, go back down. And again, just building tension. So if we listen back to it now. Nice. So that's what we want it to sound like. Now the only thing we're really missing is white noise. Now white noise is important for your drop and your build up because it really just makes your song sound a lot fuller. And the easiest way to make that is to come here and we're just going to insert another 3 times oscillator into our channel rack. We're going to come to an open pattern, whichever one you have. Come into the 3 times oscillator, and then we're going to do the same thing we did before. Turn down the volume of the 2 and 3 oscillators, and we're just going to change this to this pattern right here. Now this is just white noise, kind of like static on a TV. So I'm going to play it. I turned it down a lot because it can come off really loud, so be prepared for that. But so this is what it sounds like. So it's like static on a TV, if you've ever heard that. Sorry. So I'm going to come into the piano roll, and I'm going to fill this in at the middle C, C5, for 8 bars. There we go. Going to put that right down here, and actually, I only need it for 7. So I'm just going to pull that back. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a parametric EQ to create a falling and rising effect with our white noise. So if we come into the pattern again, come into our 3 times oscillator number 2, and then we can either hit track here or Control L, and will go to an open insert in your mixer. Come to the first slot, and we're going to open a Fruity Parametric EQ 2. Now we're going to change this last band here to a low pass band. And it looks like that. It's that curve going down to the right. And then under here, we're going to grab whenever the 2 arrows come up, you can change it. This is the order it's in. We're going to do a low steep 8. So you're going to turn it down. You can either turn it down or up, and that changes the curve of the steep. So for example, this going up is gentle. That's a gentle curve. Down is a steep curve. We want it steep. We're going to pull this up a little bit. And then we don't want to cut off everything, but we do want to cut off a little bit of the highs because some of those can actually hurt our ears, or they're very unpleasant for our ears. So we want to cut that out a little bit. And then we're going to right click and create automation clip like we did with the volume for the harpsichord we had before. And then we're going to create it here, create another notch, and then we're going to have it fall after 3 bars, and that will bring down, this notch here. So if I mute this, so that's the only thing working, come in here, you'll notice now it's controlling it and making it fall. So that's going to cut out the highs and create a kind of a whoosh effect as it's falling and then rising back up. And I'll show you, we'll listen to it now. Nice. So you see it adds a little bit of fullness to the background of our song. So that's pretty much all we have to do with our build-up. That means in the next video we're going to be making our drop, which is really exciting. I think that video is probably going to be a lot longer than these previous ones have been. But there's going to be a lot of information in it. I'm hoping it's a lot more fun. But real quick, I do want to mention that I believe I turned down my bass a little bit. Oh, I didn't yet. I want to turn down my bass a little bit. It's a little too loud. And also, if you come into the miscellaneous functions, like the wrench tab here, and then I want you to change the polyphony to polyphony. Change that to 1. So that way whenever the basses are playing, they won't conflict with each other. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier, that's probably important, but that may have been a reason your bass was sounding a little weird, because now it makes it so every time a new bass is triggered, it cuts that last one. It doesn't have it, finish at all. So thank you guys so much for watching again. Remember, if you want access to any or all the presets I use in these videos, or early access, or you just feel like helping me out, head over to my Patreon, and you can become a patron today for just $2 a month and get all that stuffs. So I hope to see you in the next video. Peace!